Hi crafty people. Today on the Alter Canvas, we're actually going to alter a canvas. One of my favorite things to hoard is quotes. I really just find so much inspiration from them. And instead of living on my computer or in notebooks that are all around my studio, I've just discovered a really fun way that I can decorate my home and my studio by just displaying them all over the place. Now, I'm no fine artist, but I really like using fine artist supplies, which is what we're going to be using in this episode. We're going to start with a blank canvas, 5 by 7, 8 by 10, and bigger, as big as you want to go, and a stencil. And what I'm going to do is just kind of give you a little bit of a general idea of what works here. This happens to be, I think, a Crafter's Workshop stencil, and we just love them over there. And what I would do is, this is molding paste. I also have some other interesting textured gel mediums over here. And they're all different. This is just a little light paste. And what I would do is use a palette knife, and you really just need a very little bit. And all you want to do is kind of just scrape it across. No need to be neat, but you just need a very tiny bit. And then all you do is kind of move it around. And just for the sake of you not having to wait for the result, you can really see here that this is raised and all textured. And we're going to put that aside, and we're not going to worry too much about any little things like this sticking up, because we'll just scrape them right off and get them out of the way. Clean that up a little bit. And then what you would do is you would set these aside and let them dry. You can add other textures as well, which I'll show you what that looks like in the next canvas. But I tend to do these in bulk. I'll sit down one day and I'll make like 10 or 20 of these. And I have made 10 or 20 of them at a clip. And then I just set them aside and I give them a day to dry or 2 days to dry. And then when I feel like working on a canvas, I've got one all ready for me to go. So this is one of those canvases that I've sat around to make. And you can see here where the molding paste is dried and I can touch it. This is a fiber paste. It's kind of like a paper. And then this is a clear granular gel, and this is a pumice. It's coarse. And what I like about it is each one of these takes your acrylic paint differently. And what I do is I would make a big palette out of a paper plate. We buy paper plates all the time, and just take some heavy-bodied acrylic paint. And the reason why I like to use heavy-bodied as opposed to just buying the liquid is that sometimes I want that thicker texture, and I can always thin out my heavy-bodied acrylic paint with some water. But it's a lot harder to make the thinner thicker. So I would just do that and make kind of like a big circle of all the colors I want to use that day, and just kind of go to town and paint however it is that I want, and I add those colors until I get something that I like. And the fun thing about working with acrylic paint in general is that once it dries, if you really don't like something and it's dry, you can just add paint right over it and change it. If I decided it was too dark a purple, I could put a wash of white over it and it'll be just lighten it up and look really beautiful. Now, how you decide that you want to add your quote is entirely up to you. I used twill ribbon for this and some rubber stamps. I have these little teeny tiny rubber stamps, and I used some ink. I used permanent ink, but dye-based ink will work really well as also. I'm gonna put this back down. And all I did was stamp my quote across the ribbon, and it says, "Be who you are, say what you feel, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." And that's by one of my favorite people, Dr. Seuss. Doesn't matter how old you are, he's always awesome. And then I just kind of cut them down. And again, I used, and I think it's out here, yep, I actually used the heavy gel medium to glue my quote down. And then instant gratification. You can put it on an easel like I've done here, or you can hang them up on the walls of your house. And I really hope that you enjoyed this project with me today. I enjoyed showing it to you. It's one of my very favorite things to do. When you're ready, just click on that PDF and download the directions. And goodbye, crafty people.